game. You're going to look at those numbers. You're going to look at that game of the take home. You're going to look at what you're saving. You're going to look at lifestyle. And we're going to move into the second part of the formula, feelings. Okay, but these are future feelings. These are words with a few statements. Here's a word of what I will feel when this is real. Here's what I will feel when this is real. Here's what I will feel when this is real. When this happens, not if this happens, when this happens at WarriorCon 4, I will feel this. So I want you to take a moment. We're going to give you 3 minutes in this. I want you to look at each item, the total money taken home, the money that you got saved, and the ultimate lifestyle that you've created for yourself to produce that next year. And you're going to go through each one, 1 minute on each one, and you're going to write down the words that come to your mind and feelings and what are the descriptions around it. Turn to the person next to you quickly and describe what you're doing here with feelings. Let's go. Explain it, explain, explain. Teach it up, teach it up. Come on, quick. Teach it up quick. All right, what's your name? Where are you from?
My name's Dustin. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Dustin from Dallas. You Texas guys are so fun. Like somebody says they're from California and nobody says shit.
We're proud, baby.
Texas, you guys like got each other. It's because you're like another country. It's great. Okay, so talk to me, Dustin. Fruit, 2019.
I want to take home 400,000.
No want. I will.
I will take home 400,000.
400,000. Okay, what will you have left over? What'll be sitting in the vault at Christmas? And your wife will be like, okay, you married?
I am.
Okay, kids?
Three girls.
Kids. How old are your girls?
7, 4, and 6 months.
Well done, my friend. Okay, so we got 3 beautiful daughters, beautiful wife, 400,000 take home. What'll be sitting in the vault, in the kitty, backing up the family?
Not a lot. I'm gonna try to pay off as much debt as I can. I want that freedom. That's
okay. So what's the number? So part of it's gonna get debt free, and how much will be sitting there?
I'm gonna try to put 30. I am gonna put 30K back in my savings, just in my vault, and I'm gonna continue to. I'm gonna get all my student loans paid off this year.
Okay, perfect. So again, there's a strategy in play. We haven't worked through the how or how you're going to distribute the money. We're just looking for 2 clear points, which is here's the amount I'm going to take home. Here's the amount that will be in the vault when I'm done. In between, what could affect that is me paying off a bunch of shit, which is great. But the number of here is 30 and the other number is 400. Are those your 2 clear numbers?
Yes, sir.
40 and 30. Or 400, and 30. Okay, awesome. Talk to me about lifestyle. Like what will the functional game for you look like on a daily basis? This is where you get to be a little more artistic with your words, where the other 2 are just numbers. I'm demoing this with you guys because you guys are going to be sharing this over and over and over again today. And we've got to get to the point quicker, which is there's no preamble. There's just a number. Here's my first number. Here's my second number. Now let me tell you the story. Okay, so your story begins at lifestyle. It doesn't begin in numbers. Your numbers are indicators of a lifestyle. Okay, so talk to me about the business lifestyle. Like what's true about the lifestyle inside of production for you? When those numbers happen, what will be true?
Everything goes up. Our patient visits go up. Our marketing gets better.
Okay, raise that microphone up.
I'm not exactly understanding the question.
Okay, what will things look like a year from now in your business?
Yeah, we've added we've got a new front desk. We've got another CA to help me. We've got a doctor that I'm actually interviewing Tuesday, so we know we have multiple docs.
How many doctors will you have?
Just me right now.
Okay, and how many will you have at this time, 2019?
2 more.
2 more, so there'll be a total of 3 of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what else?
Our marketing is, we're really good at putting out stories on Facebook, but with Jeremy's stuff, the movies, more compelling shit to put out there. Through email, YouTube, continue public speaking.
Okay, so we'll have a very solid online presence.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so again, you're going to get as specific as possible on these so that they're bullet points. When we look at lifestyle, we're simply saying this is what it will look like. Right? I'm going to have 3 doctors in office. We're going to have a solid as fuck online presence with movies that convert people to come into the practice.
Absolutely.
Okay? What else would be true?
Inside of business?
In the business,
I'm a better leader. I'm instilling hope in these guys. We're continuing our profit sharing. They're crushing it. They're happy. They're hungry, not only in their life but in our business too. They can see the fruit as well.
Okay, beautiful. So my team see the fruit. I've become a leader that actually inspires people to move forward inside of my organization.
Yes.
How many know right now that like one of the biggest struggles that you face in your production game is the fact that you are a semi-lukewarm leader? Raise your hand. Get your hands up. Hands up if it's you. All right, hands down. Here's the reality. I wake up every day a very shitty leader. Like it's very much a struggle to just lead me. Definitely not fucking ready to lead you. This is why we don't start the event at 4 a.m. Because if we start at 4 a.m., you guys would all be shitheads and I would be a shit. I would just sit down with you. So between 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning until roughly 8 o'clock, 8:30 when we start, I weaponize the fuck out of myself. Many of you are sleeping. I got my hoodie on. I got my park on. I'm walking. Just dealing with the demons inside my own head that are there every fucking morning. How many know this is true for you? Raise your hand. Hands down. How many of you know that no matter what you produce, there's going to be moments every day where you're going to be like, what the fuck? Raise your hands. Hands down. How many as glorious as making money can be, there's sometimes you're like, I think I'd just like to get a bicycle and move to Costa Rica. Raise your hands. Okay, good. Fuck, and if marriage isn't working out, it sounds really appealing. It's like fucking backpack, surfboard, bicycle, food. I'm good to go. Right? But in order for us to pull off what you're speaking to, it's going to demand a new type of leader. So no matter what you put down on lifestyle, all of you write this down. I must learn to lead. I must learn to lead. I must do it better. I must learn to lead. I must do it better. Because the minute you put 2 doctors inside of that practice with you, shit gets spicy. Right? There's amazing opportunity, and at the same time, it gets spicy. How many of you face the dip when you're from one place in production and then you start to bring on your first people to replace you as the producer and you hit the shit show? Raise your hands. Hands down. This is a fucking complicated play. Like Coach Sam Falsafi was a 5-year investment. When I met Coach Sam, he was not the Coach Sam you know now. Now, he has earned every fucking stripe that motherfucker has built for himself, and he is quite the specimen these days. Like, I sit back and I go, that's fucking incredible. I'm not sure where the fuck he came up with that, but that is incredible. But that is his unique thing. But when I first was with him, I was course correcting him every day. One of my strategies with my team members for leadership, I require someone to show up at my house at 5:15 every day. One of my team members will pull into my gated neighborhood at 5:15. They will park in front of my house, and for 1 hour, we will walk and talk early in the morning. I do this with every one of my executives. I do this with anyone on my team that is in a crucial leadership position. And then I require my leadership teams to do the same with everyone else on our team, which is someone else is meeting them at their house, and guess what they're doing? Walking and talking. It's different than being in a fucking meeting. Most meetings are total bullshit. How many of you know most meetings are total bullshit? Hands down, this weird thing happens early in the fucking morning. I swear to God, if many of you in this room just did this in the current position you're in business, which is you had weekly walk and talks. I'm going to write a book on this, My Road to $1 Billion Through Walking and Talking. That book is not ready to be published. I have to finish the billion part. The walking and talking, I'm smashing the fuck out of that part. So we're going to get there eventually. Once I do, I will publish that fucking book. But the walking and talking every morning, I get shit done with my CEO, CFO, with my COO, with our team members, with my main trainers, with Coach Sam. Sam and I spent 2 years walking and talking 5 to 7 miles every morning. Course correcting, guiding, leading. So most men want to lead, but most men don't want to pay the price for leadership. Write that shit down. Most men want to lead, but most men are unwilling to pay the price of leadership. Most men want to lead, but most men are unwilling to pay the price of leadership. And guess what? That price is going to have to be paid, because I walked and talked with Sam, but I also spent years walking and talking with my wife, trying to figure out how to fucking put our life back together, trying to make sense of who we were as a couple. So the walk and talk is not just a game that we play inside of leadership with our teams, but we also have to role model to our clients. So a movie that changes people that you've learned about requires a leader on that movie. So you can have all the elements of a movie. Look around all these fucking cameras. I'm in 1 camera, 2 cameras, 3 cameras, 4 cameras, 2 fucking huge crane cameras, another camera, I lost count, another camera. It's a lot of fucking cameras. But most of you, I could put you up here, put all those cameras on you, we couldn't make a movie. Because you ain't got shit to say. How many know what I'm talking about? But here's the great thing, you do have shit to say. But right now, you've not given yourself permission to fucking say it. How many of you know right now in leadership, your greatest struggle is not that you don't know what to say or what to do, it's that you don't say it and you don't fucking do it. Raise your hand. Hands down. So part of this is going to require a big change in the way that you operate as a leader. Now let's assume all that happens. You're going to pull that off. What will that feel like? Walk me through the feelings.
Just empower me to keep building. And
Okay, pull that mic up a little bit.
It'll empower me to keep building. And
okay, so what does that feel like to empower you to keep building? What's the feeling?
I could run through a brick wall.
Okay, that's a description. Run through a brick wall is not a feeling. It's a thing that comes after the feeling. If you're feeling like you can fucking run through a brick wall, have you ever run through a brick wall?
No.
Would you like to ever run through a brick wall?
Fuck no. No.
You would like to? I would not like to run through a fucking brick wall. I like the idea of running through a brick wall, but I think in actual application, I don't want to fucking run through a brick wall. So there's a feeling, though, that's a cool description, it's great, but there's a feeling that you would have that would drive this, I want to fucking run through a brick wall.
Certainty.
Certainty. Y'all better write that shit down. Because one of the things that money brings when you are producing at a level you know you can is you become certain. And the crazy part is, when is it time to double down on your business? When you're fucking certain. But most men only double down when they're feeling uncertainty. And then when they feel certain, guess what they do with the gas? They back the fuck off. I'm like, motherfucker, if there was ever a time for you to double the fuck down, it is when you are in certainty. Because you feel like you can run through a brick wall, then fucking put the gas to the game. Don't run through it. Drive through a fucking brick wall. I'll drive through a brick wall with a tank. Certainty. What's another feeling? Go.
Hope.
Hope. What else?
Courage.
Courage. What else?
Feel clear.
Clear. What else? By the way, he's giving you some good ones, so if yours are like run like through a brick wall, you should probably write this shit down. Okay, give me another one.
I'd feel like a king.
Okay, so feel like a king is a description.
Yeah.
What would make you feel like a king? There's a word that precedes that statement. It's like run through a brick wall. They're great. I love it. I feel like a king. I'd run through a fucking brick wall. I would like, these are all beautiful. They're like very, and they feel great. But there's a word before that. What is it? If you felt like a king, what would you feel? Powerful. Power. People tell you that power is not a feeling, power is a feeling. And power is typically linked to certainty. Power is born out of commitment. Commitment and certainty are the birth children of creation. But there's this catch-22. You don't get certainty and this game of commitment. All this thing doesn't blend together without courage. Courage to say, I will do whatever is fucking required to hit this promised land. I sat in a hotel room so fucking pissed off in Hawaii with my wife and my in-laws back in 2011. I was so fucking tired of the world my world had become, particularly economically. Like, I was digging myself out of the biggest fucking hole I'd ever imagined from 2008, 9, and 10. And I'm sitting there at the beginning of 2011 in Hawaii, fully funded by my in-laws, because I'm still fucking paying. Any money I made was immediately being sucked back into the fucking black hole of my past. How many of you have experienced this? Raise your hand. It becomes a very disheartening place to be because no matter what you do, it feels like you're in quicksand. And so I got off the phone with this woman who owed me $500. And she said, I'm not paying you. And I just fucking lost my mind. I took my cell phone and I fucking throw it across this thing, dents the wall. We're at the Marriott in Ko'olina, Hawaii. I fucking punch a hole in the fucking wall. I throw these fucking chairs. People come out in the hallway. They're freaking out. They poke their heads out there. Oh my God, back in the rooms they go. And I'm fucking losing my mind. Some big-ass Polynesian security guys come walking up. They're like, bro, you okay, bro? It's like, no. Don't break any more shit, bro. It's like, fine. And then I went for a long-ass fucking walk. And I made a fucking decision. Like, I was fucking done. I was fucking done. Like, I was fucking done. I was not going to continue to play the way I was playing. I was desperate. I was playing weak. I was fucking scared. I was hesitating. I wasn't making aggressive moves I needed to make. The feeling that undertook everything every single day was a sense of unworthiness and fucking brokenness and stuckness, and I had no tools and I had no one to talk to. I had nobody to fucking talk to about this. So I was convinced I was alone, that I was the only guy experiencing this fucking reality. And then I made a decision. A fucking decision. But it's the kind of decision that when you make it, like, everything fucking changes. Like, something inside of you just shifts. It just clicks. And there's not questions of how am I going to do it. Your hustler all of a sudden goes, and in that moment, it doesn't fucking matter what happens. This fucking guy will go and do whatever is required. How many of you have experienced the moment of the activation of your hustler when your back is against the wall and he says, fuck you, I don't give a fuck, we are going? Raise your hand. Hands down. No matter what your target is, one of the feelings that you're going to have to be able to leverage is anger. You're not going to hope yourself to the next level. Part of how we fuel ourselves, and we'll work on this afternoon, is leveraging the stack, which is being unafraid of the anger and unafraid of the rage that builds up to build, because it's fucking real. It's real. And it's a moment where you're like, motherfucker, I will not fucking deal with this shit anymore. I will fucking build. And there's a focus that comes, a central focus. It is no longer about excuses or about what's in the way. Whatever is fucking required, I will do it. So we have numbers and targets that we set. They're like, okay, I'm going to do these numbers. And then we have numbers and targets that we set that invoke this primal motherfucker, I wish you would. And when this piece inside of you activates, there's a piece in you that starts to wake up, and he just starts to knock. He starts to fucking knock. He starts to fucking knock. He starts to fucking knock. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. He says, I will fucking build this. He looks at his 3 daughters. He looks at his wife. And there's no one that will get in the way. There is nothing he will not do. There is nothing he was incapable of. This motherfucker will build. Shh. I feel the heat of this guy every day. He's on the flip side of the panic. The panic that's natural every single time you commit to something big. There's a panic on the flip side of that coin, a point of view that's like, what the fuck am I committing to? This nervousness, this anxiety, this I can't fucking pull it off. How am I going to do it? My marriage in such a shit show. How the fuck could I possibly pull this off? How could I pull this off financially? It's not fucking possible. And there's a moment where that primal rage will connect to the king. And the king will leverage inside of you this rage and link it up to a pure purpose. And inside of that rage and inside of that purpose, we find fire. You will not pull this off just by saying it. Because here at Warrior, we expect a target, just like the one in business, across body, being, and balance, which means you don't get to just produce money. You get to produce money and weaponize your life. It's not enough for us to just have you get paid. It's not even enough for us to just have you get laid. You must commit to creating and at the same time having it all. The interesting part is taking your marriage to the same target that you're seeing in business, taking your relationship with your children to the same target you're seeing in business, taking your body and your being to the same target you're seeing in business, taking yourself to this place is going to require all the other 3. Why do I give a fuck about weaponizing my body? Because the only way I'm going to hit that target is if the vessel that I need to clearly operate in business is working at optimal speed every day. Why do I meditate? Because if I don't meditate, my fucking mind fucks things up. Why do I do a stack every day? Because I'm crazy. And in order to access the rage that's married up to the purpose which unifies the fire, in order to pull that off, I got to go to some dark places inside of me. You're not going to pull this off by just fucking writing it down. How many of you know that you will not just pull this off by writing it down? Hands down. How many of you feel like if you could access the intensity that I've just demonstrated, if you could access this on a consistent basis for yourself, that you would have the courage to figure out how the fuck you were going to pull it off? Raise your hand. Hands down. That is what Warrior stands for. We're not going to tell you how to do shit. You're smart motherfuckers. What we're going to do is teach you how to create conditions inside of your game. And then when we do insert tactics and strategies, you have the fucking power to do it. Don't talk to me about advertising campaigns. You don't have the fucking balls to advertise like I do. But you can. It requires it. You like the pain of the needle? Me too. I'm slightly addicted to it. The pain of the tattoo gun. It's spiritual for me. I love it at about 8 hours. Because about 8 hours, all sanity disappears. And you enter the land of fucking crazy. And then comes out the border gun. The thick shader. And it starts to churn and your nervous system just freaks the fuck out and shuts down. And the waves of pain push across your body. And breathe. Grind that motherfucker again. Do it again. Business for me is like getting a tattoo. I wake up every morning and the marketplace is ready to grind the fuck out of me. I'm like, bring it, bitches. I'm gonna fuel myself up with your fire. I'm gonna fuel myself up with your persecution. I'm gonna fuel yourself up with all the fucking doubters. I'm gonna fuel myself up with the fucking thieves inside of my companies. I'm gonna fuel myself up with the people who steal from us. I'm gonna fuel myself up with the people that copy us. I'm gonna fuel myself up with just the fucking frustration of dealing with goddamn city codes and permits and government bodies. I'm gonna deal with my taxes and my attorneys, and then when it comes, that grind comes, I'm gonna fuel up with that fucking fire. And instead of run from it, I'm gonna fucking consume it. I'm gonna take your heat and I'm gonna fucking drink it. And what comes out? But I'm clear as fuck. I know where I'm going. I don't know how I'm gonna get there many times. But when I wake up, I figure out today what step I need to take to move towards that destiny. And I appreciate the fact that 3 to 4 months from now, a new version of me will exist, and that version of me has answers that the current version of me does not fucking have. So the how am I going to do it now, Garrett? I'm too big of a pussy right now to answer that fucking question. And so I'm going to kill this version of me and rebirth another version of me 3 months from now that'll have answers and keys to doors I cannot even see nor even know that should open. But my job as the king is to set the focus. Here is the place I am committed to going. And there is no investment of time, energy, money, spirituality, focus that I will not commit to pull this off. Or the option B, continue to pretend that you're a player. Fuck hustle. You must become obsessed. The men that win in Warrior become obsessed with this lifestyle. The high that comes from having all 4 areas of your life locked and fucking loaded. The courage and the certainty you feel walking down the street and knowing that your gaze literally peers straight into people's souls because you have nothing to hide. And you have done the work. And you have the clear target locked inside. Gentlemen, you have 2 minutes. Go to your war map. Begin writing. What the fuck are you hearing me say right now? Let's go. Get after it. You got 2 minutes.
The miracle will happen. It might not happen the first time you open it. It might not happen the second time you open it. But I promise you this, at some point this will fucking click and your life will be unrecognizable.
I became a different man. I don't compromise. I don't negotiate. I have this clarity and certainty of where I'm going, and I don't negotiate with anyone.
You can't put a dollar figure on that. And this right here is all the work, all the effort of all the men that have come before me in the palm of your hands. It's an opportunity for you to change your own life and change the lives of those that are around you.
And even in the start, I started to change. There's been a lot of work. I've done a fuck ton of work. I devoured the content once I got it. I studied, I worked, I made it my priority because there was nothing I was going to do that was going to help the rest around me, to be, I didn't know how to be a better father. I didn't know how to be a better husband.
My relationship with my wife is on its peak. For that, I'm very grateful. My business has exploded, and that is because this concept of warrior is growing from the inside out.
And I just would say, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you take that chance? Why wouldn't you find enough value in yourself to make this decision, become part of a movement, a brotherhood? It's the best thing I've ever done.
It's too hard to do it by yourself. And I don't choose to do it by myself anymore, and now I don't have to.
The results came. I changed. I found my way out.
It wouldn't have mattered what that cost would have been, because I knew there was no price I could put on leveling up. There was no price I could put on my family and my kids and my wife and becoming a better version of myself. There's no price tag. There's no price.
And the best news is in the decision, the change begins. If you decide, your life has already changed in that one decision, in that 1 second.